Hi everyone, it's Amanda, and this is my SmartBoard lesson, and my topic is Themes in the Roaring 1920s. You can see here that it's a U.S. History 2 course, topic the Roaring 1920s. Grades can either be 10th grade or 11th grade, it depends. Some schools switch around which years they have U.S. History and World History. Prior knowledge would be they would have read The Great Gatsby in their language arts class, Prohibition, 18th Amendment, and World War I. My cross-curricular link is language arts. I do have a lot of ties of The Great Gatsby in with this lesson. The lesson objectives. This lesson is actually more of a review, so I have more kind of lesson objectives of before the unit tests. So they would be able to distinguish the key themes and trends of the Roaring 1920s, explain why the lifestyle of the 1920s was the way it was, imagine the lifestyle of America in the 1920s, and evaluate F. Scott Fitzgerald's novel, The Great Gatsby, and how it compared to real life. And over here I just have my lesson notes for the slides, but I won't be going over that right now because I'm going to show you everything. So the first interactive activity that I have is a quick multiple choice quiz. It's 5 questions, and it goes both through questions asking about the Great Gatsby and just general 1920s history. So the first question is, in the Great Gatsby, what character represents the American dream? I would hopefully students would know that's Jay Gatsby, but you can see that they can pick different ones until they get the correct answer. They can go to next, which music represents the 1920s. Hopefully they would come up and pick jazz. So it's just a short 5-question quiz. I don't need to go through all the questions, but. And then this second activity I have is fun. It's the vortex. And the students can come up, see what the themes are, and they can put it either in the 1920s vortex or non-1920s vortex, depending on if it was a big trend during the time. So let's see, this one's the Charleston dance. Students might come up and put it in the non-1920s, but then they'll see it, we'll spit it back out, so that means that they should put it in the 1920s. And then there's waltzing, the dance, so hopefully, the Charleston was 1920s and waltzing was not really that big then. Impressionism, they would hopefully put in non-1920s, Expressionism, stay-at-home moms, non-1920s, flappers, 1920s. So that's the gist of this slide. The next one, I have kind of like a word guess, kind of hangman-y idea. So here they can see there's a phrase, and they would need to come up and pick the letters that go into it. So this one's World War I. But if they need some help, they can look at the clue, and you can see seen as a cause to the 1920s culture as a trauma influenced the people to live life to the fullest. So hopefully that would get them to see that it's World War I. And then they got that, and then they can just go to the next one. I believe I have 5 words here. So once again, it starts with an S. There's a few letters. Maybe they can guess and come up. If they don't, look at the clue where alcohol was secretly consumed, and then they should know that it's a speakeasy. So that's this slide. The next one is a balloon pop. I thought that this was fun. It's not exactly quizzing them, but students can see that they can read the posed question or just statement, and the 18th Amendment outlawed consumption of alcohol. The people figured out ways to get around the law. Click the balloons and find out how. So you could either ask the students to come up and click them right away, maybe if it's not a review, but if it is a review, you can have them write it down in their notebook and then come and check to see how many they got right and wrong. So you can just click the balloons, and you can see they went to speakeasies. Doctors prescribed alcohol prescriptions or drug prescriptions that they weren't able to get during the times of Prohibition. Organized smuggling, excess storage of liquor, bootlegging, corrupt politicians. So I think that this is just a fun way to have students think first, and then they can come up and reveal if they're right and wrong. There were different ways that people got around the law and drink alcohol, but these are the big ones that hopefully students would need to know and remember. So the next 3 slides, they're all the same activity. It's just I spread them out on different slides to save room. So here you can see, for the next few slides, drag the pictures to the box to uncover daily life in the roaring 1920s. So you can see this one's lifestyle. Once again, if it's in the beginning of the lessons or unit, you can have them come up and reveal it. Or if it's a review, you can have them sit at their desk, write in the notebook, and then students can come up and drag over to see if they were correct or not. So here you just drag the picture over. I didn't lock the iron space, but everything else. So this activity works, and you can see here were different like trends in the 1920s of really specific to the lifestyle. Consumers in excess. You can see that a lot in The Great Gatsby too. Extravagant parties, jazz music, glamorous fashion, movies such as westerns and silent films were growing in popularity. Radio shows brought families together. Slang was becoming a very popular form of language, and fast cars. The next one I have prohibition. Once again, students can come up right away to reveal if it's in the beginning, or they can just sit down right and then come up. So prohibition, here's just some things that were important to prohibition in 1920. So 18th Amendment outlawed sale, distribution, consumption of alcohol. Protestants led the temperance movement. Speakeasies formed to secretly drink, organized crime. Same thing again with new home devices. This is hopefully the new home devices that were becoming popular during the 1920s. So you can look over radio, electrical refrigerator and freezer, electric vacuum cleaner, automatic washing machine, home telephone lines. They were all becoming popular in the 1920s. And then the last slide just has 2 more. Women obviously had such a dramatic change in the 1920s, so the students can come, drag over, see what life was like to be a woman in the 1920s and how things started to change for them. And then just one more, popular culture. These are just big things that were huge in the 1920s, such as music, dance, radio, architecture, gambling, sports. So that's the end of my SmartBoard lesson plan. I hope you enjoyed it. If anybody has any questions, just please let me know. And thank you for listening.